Man, games are expensive, and buying the wrong one hurts way too much. These are the games I would buy again without thinking twice. Let's start with the big one. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a video game, it's a portal to 1899. I remember the first time I rode through the Heartlands at sunrise, the way the light hit the grass and the sounds of the world waking up. It's just unmatched. You play as Arthur Morgan, and watching his journey from a hardened outlaw to someone searching for a shred of meaning is, in my opinion, the best story ever told in this medium. The gameplay is slow, but that's the point. It's deliberate. You feel the weight of every action, whether you're cleaning your revolver or grooming your horse. It's the kind of game where you can spend 3 hours just hunting or playing poker in a saloon and feel like you've had a productive day. The villains, like the manipulative Dutch Vanderlinde, are so well written that you'll find yourself questioning your own loyalty. Look, I know some people say it's too slow, but honestly, this is the kind of game that justifies the price. The sheer amount of detail, from the way the snow deforms to the random encounters that feel like scripted movies, is mind-blowing. If you buy this game, you aren't just buying a story, you're buying a living world. This is the kind of game you don't forget. Number 2. The Last of Us Part 2. This one is a total gut punch. The Last of Us Part 2 is uncomfortable, brutal, and emotionally draining, and that's exactly why it's a masterpiece. You follow Ellie on a mission of pure, unfiltered revenge, and the sensation of the rain-soaked ruins of Seattle is so thick with atmosphere it's almost suffocating. The combat is visceral. When you hit someone, you feel it. The AI is so smart they actually call out to each other, making every stealth encounter a heart-pounding puzzle. The story takes some massive risks, especially with the perspective switch to Abby, but it's a genius move that forces you to confront your own biases. It's a game about the cycle of hate, and the impactful emotion of that final fight on the beach stayed with me for weeks. It's not fun in a traditional sense, but it is an essential experience that pushes what a narrative can be. The technical polish is just on another level. The facial animations alone convey more emotion than most games do with 10 minutes of dialogue. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. It's a high watermark for the industry, a polished gem that makes every other third-person action game feel a bit dated. Truly, this is the kind of game you don't forget. Three, God of War 2018. Watching a literal god struggle to be a dad is a journey I'll never get tired of. God of War took the rage-filled Kratos and gave him a soul. The one-shot camera technique, where the whole game unfolds without a single cut, makes the sensation of traveling through the Norse realms feel incredibly intimate. The bond between Kratos and Atreus is the heart of the game, and watching them grow together is a 10 out of 10 experience. The gameplay is heavy and satisfying. That Leviathan axe, throwing it and calling it back to your hand, is probably the best feeling in any action game, period. The combat is a brutal dance of ice and fire, and the puzzles are clever without ever being annoying. The villains, like Baldur, are fascinating because they're just as human and flawed as the heroes are. My only gripe is that I wanted more boss variety, but honestly, the quality of what is there is so high that here you feel that your money was worth it. It's a mature, cinematic epic that respects your time and delivers one of the most satisfying endings in history. If you want a game that feels like a premium blockbuster from start to finish, this is it. This is the kind of game you don't forget. Number 4, Ghost of Tsushima. This is the most beautiful game I've ever seen, hands down. Ghost of Tsushima is a love letter to samurai cinema. Instead of a mini-map, you follow the guiding wind, which lets you keep your eyes on the stunning world. The sensation of riding through a field of yellow leaves while the wind blows through the trees is just pure peace. You play as Jin Sakai, and his struggle between his samurai honor and the ghost tactics needed to save his home is a tragic, beautiful arc. The gameplay is razor sharp. The swordplay feels rhythmic and lethal. One well-timed parry and you're cutting through Mongols like butter. Switching between stances to counter different enemies makes you feel like a master of the blade. The emotional impact of the final duel with his uncle, Lord Shimura, is a moment that actually made me put the controller down and just breathe for a second. The side quests can be a bit repetitive, sure, but the atmosphere and the art direction are so strong you won't even care. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. It's a polished, passionate, and incredibly satisfying journey that makes you feel like a legend. Whether you're writing haikus or storming a castle, this is the kind of game you don't forget. 5. Elden Ring. If we're talking about value, Elden Ring is the undisputed heavyweight champion. I remember stepping out into Limgrave for the first time and seeing that massive Erd tree on the horizon. I realized right then that my social life was over for the next 2 months. This isn't just an open world, it's a world of secrets hidden inside secrets. From Software took the training wheels off and just let us explore, and that sensation of discovery is something I haven't felt since I was a kid. The gameplay is the gold standard. Whether you're a heavy knight or a glass cannon sorcerer, the sheer variety of builds means you can play this game 5 times and have a different experience every time. The bosses, like the tragic General Radon or the terrifying Melania, are legendary. They're hard, yeah, but the feeling of finally taking them down, that's better than any drug. Some people get frustrated by the lack of map markers, but for me, this is the type of game that justifies the price. You're getting a 100-hour masterpiece that respects your intelligence. You don't need a quest log when the world is this interesting. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. It's a literal landmark in gaming history. Six. Horizon Forbidden West. Going from the first game to Horizon Forbidden West felt like jumping from a sketch to a full-color painting. The technical achievement here is just, it's stupid. The way the sand deforms under Aloy's feet, or the way the light hits the metallic scales of a Slitherfang. It's pure eye candy. But beneath that, there's a story about a girl carrying the weight of the entire world on her shoulders, and the emotional impact of her growing into a leader is really well handled. The gameplay refined everything. The combat against the machines is a tactical dance, stripping parts, using elemental weaknesses, and maneuvering with the new polecaster. It makes every encounter feel like a high-stakes puzzle. My personal favorite is the verticality. Gliding down from a mountaintop over a lush jungle is a sensation that never gets old. The dialogue can be a bit talky at times, but the side quests are so much better this time around, actually feeling like they matter to the world. Here you feel that your money was worth it. You can feel the polish in every corner of the map. It's a massive, beautiful, and deeply satisfying sequel. Number 7. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Most games are meant to be played. Uncharted 4 is meant to be experienced. This is Nathan Drake's final bow, and Naughty Dog sent him off with a masterpiece. It's a much more mature story than the previous ones, focusing on Nate's struggle to leave the treasure hunter life behind for his marriage with Elena. The emotional impact of the scenes in their house, just living a normal life, makes the eventual adventure in Madagascar feel so much more earned. The gameplay is the peak of the playable blockbuster. The set pieces, like the citywide chase in the Jeep, are choreographed better than most Hollywood action movies. The addition of the grappling hook makes the combat feel much more fluid and vertical. But it's the quiet moments, the banter between Nate and his brother Sam, that really sell the sensation of a real bond. It's a linear game, so you aren't getting 100 hours here, but every single second is 10 out of 10 quality. This is the kind of game that justifies the price, because the production value is simply untouchable. It's a perfect ending to a legendary character. If you want a game that makes you feel like the hero of your own movie, this is it. 8. Death Stranding. I know, people call this a walking simulator, but man, those people are missing the point. Death Stranding is a meditative, bizarre, and beautiful masterpiece. Playing as Sam Porter Bridges, your job is to reconnect a broken America by delivering packages. It sounds like work, but the sensation of planning a route across a mountain, managing your boots and your balance, and finally hearing that low roar music kick in as you reach the destination, it's spiritual. The gameplay is all about indirect connection. You never see other players, but you see the bridges they built and the ladders they left for you. Finding a generator left by a stranger when your battery is dead is an impactful emotion of gratitude I've never felt in any other game. It's a game about how we need each other to survive, even if we're alone. The story is peak Kojima. It's weird, it's long, and it's got babies in jars. It's definitely not for everyone, but if you buy this game, you won't regret it if you're looking for something that actually tries to be different. It's a slow burn experience that stays in your head for months. 9. Bloodborne. There is something about the sensation of stepping into Central Yharnam for the first time that just ruins other games. The atmosphere is oppressive, gothic, and absolutely terrifying. Bloodborne isn't just a hard game, it's an experience in cosmic horror. You play as a hunter, and the combat is a fast, aggressive dance. Unlike Dark Souls, here you're rewarded for being violent. The rally system lets you gain health back by hitting enemies right after they hit you. It's a rush of adrenaline that I've never found anywhere else. The emotional impact comes from the mystery. You start hunting beasts in the street, but by the end, you're uncovering secrets about ancient gods and the nightmare itself. This is the kind of game that justifies the price, because the world design is flawless. Every shortcut you unlock and every boss you overcome feels like a massive life achievement. It's a PlayStation exclusive that people have been begging for a sequel to for a decade, and there's a reason for that. Even at 30 FPS, the art direction is so strong that it puts modern 4K games to shame. If you buy this game, you won't regret it, especially if you want a challenge that actually respects your skill. It's dark, it's twisted, and this is the kind of game you don't forget. 10. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. I've lost hundreds of hours to The Witcher 3, and honestly, I'd do it all again. This is the gold standard for open-world RPGs. The sensation of the wind howling through the trees in Velen while you track a monster is something no other game has quite replicated. You play as Geralt, and the writing is so good that even a random side quest about a missing frying pan ends up having more heart than the main stories of other games. With the Complete Edition, you get the two best DLCs ever made, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. We're talking about an extra 40 to 50 hours of content that is arguably better than the base game. Here, you feel that your money was worth it because the sheer amount of top-tier storytelling is staggering. You aren't just a hero, you're a professional who has to make impossible, morally gray choices that actually affect the world. The combat can be a bit weightless for some, but the world building and the characters, Yennefer, Ciri, Triss, feel like real people. This is the kind of game you don't forget, primarily because of the memories you make just wandering the countryside. It's an absolute masterpiece that every gamer needs in their library. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. 11. Shadow of the Colossus. This game is pure poetry. Shadow of the Colossus is a lonely, haunting journey through a forbidden land. There are no towns, no NPCs, no busy work. It's just you, your horse Agro, and 16 massive stone giants. The sensation of scale when you look up at a colossus for the first time is mind-blowing. You have to climb these living buildings to find their weak points, and it creates this incredible, impactful emotion of being small but determined. But what makes it special is the cost of your journey. Every time you take down one of these majestic creatures, you don't feel like a hero, you feel a sense of tragedy. The music shifts from epic to mournful, and you realize you're destroying something ancient for a selfish reason. This is the kind of game you don't forget, because it's one of the few titles that treats video games as a true art form. The controls can be a little clunky, and the camera can be your worst enemy at times, but the atmosphere is so powerful you'll forgive it all. Here, you feel that your money was worth it because you're experiencing something that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's short, it's focused, and it's beautiful. It's a journey that will stay in your heart forever. 12. Cyberpunk 2077. I know, we all remember the launch, but the Cyberpunk 2077 we have now, especially with the Phantom Liberty expansion, is one of the most immersive experiences ever built. The sensation of driving through Night City at night with the neon lights reflecting off the wet asphalt is pure future noir. You play as V, a mercenary with a digital ghost, Keanu Reeves, in their head, and the story is a high-speed chase through the dark side of technology. The gameplay is so much more refined now. Whether you're a netrunner melting brains from a distance or a solo with mantis blades slicing through goons, the combat is fast and visceral. But the real emotional impact comes from the characters. Characters like Panem, Judy, and Johnny Silverhand feel like actual friends by the time the credits roll. This is the kind of game that justifies the price, because Night City is the most detailed digital city ever created. It ruined other sci-fi games for me because of the sheer verticality and style. Every corner has a story, and every choice feels like it carries weight in that corporate hellscape. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. It's the ultimate comeback story and a technical marvel. 13. Days Gone. I'll be the first to admit, Days Gone is probably the most misunderstood game on this list. It starts a bit slow, but man, once it clicks, it hits hard. You play as Deacon St. John, a biker in a world that's been absolutely torn apart, and your motorcycle is the soul of the game. The sensation of cruising through the Oregon wilderness, managing your fuel, and repairing your bike makes you feel like a true survivor. The real impactful emotion comes from the hordes. Seeing 500 freakers pouring over a ridge like a literal wave of death is one of the most terrifying and exhilarating things I've ever experienced in a game. You have to use your brain, traps, and the environment to survive. Here, you feel that your money was worth it because the tension is real, and the sense of progression as you turn your bike into a war machine is so satisfying. The story is a slow burn about loss and brotherhood that actually made me tear up by the end. If you buy this game, you won't regret it, especially now that it's patched and runs like a dream. It's a gritty, rainy, and heartfelt journey that feels way more grounded than your average zombie game. 14. Resident Evil 4 Remake. How do you take a game that was already perfect and make it better? I don't know how Capcom did it, but Resident Evil 4 Remake is a masterpiece. It takes the sensation of the 2005 original, the tension, the campy action, the incredible pacing, and cranks it up to 11. Playing as Leon S. Kennedy in that creepy Spanish village feels better than ever. The combat is a crunchy, tactical dance where every bullet counts and every knife parry feels like a triumph. The emotional impact is actually stronger here because the characters feel more human. Leon and Ashley's dynamic is way more believable, and the villains are even more grotesque and threatening. This is the kind of game that justifies the price because the replay value is insane. Between the different difficulty modes, the unlockable weapons, and the mercenaries mode, you're going to be playing this for a long, long time. It balances horror and action in a way that no other game quite manages. Whether you're fighting a giant in a quarry or sneaking through a dark castle, the level of polish is just breathtaking. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. It's a love letter to the fans and the perfect entry point for newcomers. 15. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. To wrap this all up, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If you want to talk about value, this game is a monster. It is a massive, sprawling, and incredibly vibrant world that feels like a dream come true for anyone who grew up with the original. The sensation of stepping out into the grasslands and realizing just how big the world is, it's a jaw-on-the-floor moment. The gameplay is a genius blend of real-time action and strategic commands. Switching between Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith to pull off synergy attacks feels so fluid and stylish. But the real impactful emotion is the bond between the characters. The banter, the quiet moments at the campfire, and the looming tragedy of the story make this a 100-hour emotional roller coaster. Here, you feel that your money was worth it because the amount of content, from the card games to the massive side quests, is almost overwhelming in the best way. It's a game with so much heart and soul that it reminds you why you fell in love with gaming in the first place. If you buy this game, you won't regret it. It's a technical and emotional achievement that sets a new bar for the JRPG genre. It's a journey of a lifetime. Which of these games do you think is the most worth it? Or is there a game you bought that made you feel like you got a total steal? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing your stories.